Let's try this again. Welcome back to Sacred Therapy, everybody. Um, I keep forgetting that when I touch the volume buttons on this phone, it is starting and stopping the recording, which is weird. So I'm not used to recording. Walking, I only did it a few times, but I do like the way the audio is set up. So we're gonna try this during the day, see how much feedback we're getting. I've been pulled to do a reading, but I feel like there's, unexpected things that may be interfering in what you're being called to do. This could be personal responsibilities, financial responsibilities, family, bills, professional stuff. Because you shouldn't. Yeah, and there's friends. Yeah, you shouldn't let other obligations. It's a tough choice, right? Shouldn't let other obligations to other people outside of yourself trump what you have going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, their needs shouldn't be more important than your needs. What you dream about should not go on the back burner just to please whoever. Okay? You shouldn't make yourself feel small to make other people feel better about themselves, because at the end of the day, they don't really feel better about themselves anyways. So you letting them do that for no reason. And I knew I was gonna get hot starting to channel this message, but when I first got out here, that wind was biting. It was going straight through my hood. See if I could just lose one hood and not all of them. Here we go. But yeah. So make sure you're doing your self-care days. Make sure you're doing, what you need to do to take care of you for you, Don't let other people interfere with the projections of your life. And this could be real simple. Hold on, y'all. And untie my shoes. I just double knotted these yesterday. Weird. And make sure you're not getting in your own way, but you can only prepare so much too. On the other side of that, on the flip side, you can only prepare so much and prep for so much before it becomes a problem, before it becomes a fear hindering you from taking a risk, right? So I feel like that heavy energy is releasing, because there's a slowing down. So we're still not speeding up, but I feel like a lot of our collective is just allowing themselves to slow down on purpose, because our whole lives Rush, 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 rush. Where the hell are we rushing to? Where? Where are we going? You know? Human beings were not productive just for the sake of making other people money. They were productive for survival. Productivity outside of survival gotta come with balance. But we're getting off topic. That's a completely different thing. I don't really want to start talking politics and all that. We're gonna not do. Because there's a lot of things going on in our modern society today that is built to divide us. And Sacred Therapy, this channel, if you're new here, welcome. I hope you will like, share, subscribe, comment below if you're feeling brave enough to share your story. This is a safe space, and trust me, I will be monitoring the comments and making sure nobody is feeling cyberbullied or none of that. That will not be happening here. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm a healer, but I'm also a protector. So something about me, I go by Az, and it's actually my pen name, but it's also because I'm reminding myself to give myself grace at every stage of life that I am in. So Az is short for As I Am, because that started trending with Mrs. Cecilia, what was her last name? You know, the older black lady in all the Tyler Perry movies. She's bomb. She's dope. She's actually been in a lot of different movies, but I'm just horrible memory when it comes to names, which I'm working on. I remember faces. I remember plots, but people's names be escaping me. Yeah, I just ran into somebody that I knew. I knew in the community like 5 years ago. Random encounter. Me and my sister went out to eat in our server. So happened to be this lady. And I've done a lot of work in the community, right? So I'm sitting here racking my brain because I'm like, it's gonna bother me. I don't know where I know her from. It's gonna really bother me because that doesn't happen too much. Not being able to remember her name, normal for me. But not being able to place her face with a plot, not normal for me. I'm like, why do you look familiar? So then I'm trying to figure out, is this like a vision thing? Like she looked familiar, but she's not familiar, but we've never really met for real? Or this is like, because people with gifts, so maybe you are exploring your gifts at this time too, taking this period of rest, this period of gestation, in that respect too. But crap, what was I saying? Because it was important, the point I was making. Then I just seen something nasty on the ground, and my OCD took over. Like, ooh, what was that? Power wash the sidewalk, blah blah. I feel like I gotta walk all the way back there to go grab my thought, because that's gonna make me so mad. Oh well, it'll circle back around. If it doesn't, then evidently I just needed to say that piece and part of the message, because spirit be spiriting. So yeah, wow. Oh yeah, the girl I ran into. yes, and it was bothering me. Where did I know her from? Where was that from? Okay. So you also may be looking at your gifts, because for me, it took me a while to figure out, like, the fact that I felt crazy is not necessarily crazy. It's just like, it's some, what I've called like some weird ESP stuff. That's how I throw it all under that big umbrella label as ESP stuff. Which for me is like all the like energetic downloads, dreams, prophetic dreams. Sometimes I hear stuff like, and I like voices is talking in my head type of weirdness, like, but honestly it is like little nudges, like like take this right, blah blah blah. Like I've done that too when I'm walking around here at night. I'll get feelings, and it's spirit looking out. So make sure you following your intuition too, if people are cycling back around. So anyway, we're trying to figure out how we know each other, right? And it's bothering her, it's bothering me. And I'm like, what's your name? She tell me her name. I'm like, oh, I know a couple of you from back in the day. Like she got a common name. Like my legal name is a common ass name. But I just go by as, because y'all don't need all that. Y'all don't need all of that to get what we need to get from this. I don't know if that's a fruit or if that was an animal. That was weird. But yeah, so we're trying to figure it out. Steady trying to figure it out. Where do I know this girl from? And it's crazy. We ended up being like what, like I just was trying to narrow it down, like what side of town, because in my hometown I've never lived nowhere else, so I've not went anywhere to live for a long period of time. I went somewhere and I've stayed for like a month and a half before, but that was always gonna be temporary. It was not like a move there type of situation, right? So I'm like, what side of town you from? So because I've known people from all over. I've done community work. I gotta stop and stand still so I can open this package with this stupid water bottle and try not to drop my phone. Open. Cooperates. That's how I was trying to get my brain to cooperate, to like remind me of who that was. Cause I'm like, man, she looked familiar. It was her face shape. So I didn't know, like, cause I've worked with kids, I've worked with, everybody. Anywhere from like preschool age all the way up to college level. I've worked with adults, children, everybody. Building community and doing stuff, right? So I'm trying to reconfigure things. Y'all know how it is. So we trying to figure out where the hell we know each other from. And her voice is like super deep low, right? So a little personal story. I know she's in the rainbow community too, and I knew that back then, but I kind of, in my mind, the only thing I got from her is I might have seen her at an event one time, and in my brain, I was like, I wonder if she knows she gay, type stuff. Like, I wonder if she know that she like women too, because she was sitting there with a whole dude expecting a baby, right? So anyway, outside of that, it took us Like the entire time that me and my sister was sitting there, like eating our breakfast to like get to the where the hell do I know this lady from? And I'm like, how old are you? We asking each other like interview type questions, like how old are you? You got sisters and them? Where you went to school? Like, like what side of town you frequented? Pretty much, like. Because when you've done community work and you've done it on all sides of town, it's hard to keep track of everybody. But I'm really good with faces. So I'm like, I couldn't tell if I worked with her or if I knew her family that looked like her. Because some people got strong ass genes out here. I've seen sisters, cousins. You look like you didn't hit copy paste a couple times. Like, y'all not twins? Damn, that's crazy. Y'all look like y'all could be twins. Like that type. Like it's real obvious to everybody outside of them actual people that they all look alike, but they don't see it, They be like, nah, my nose is different. I got a mole here. That's like trying to tell identical twins separate. Calm down. Y'all just proving my point. Like, but no, so, and it ended up not being even that deep. It was just like, oh wow, like I really don't remember her. And it was because like life was stressful, but I found out she was also in a DV type of situation at the same damn time that I was, but neither of us knew that about each other. We was going actually because I worked at the community center there, and she would be doing the events and stuff. I would be going to the events too, but I also worked at the community center. So I was in some weird, I'm staff and I'm a resident place. I'm always in some weird ass out of the box position or place. So maybe that's Steve's message too for you guys. Don't be afraid to step out of these boxes, these normalized society. Like I said, as long as y'all not hurting nobody or doing too much, I feel like it would be okay, to live outside of the rules. But then it became also like, okay, a couple readers told me like I was gonna run into somebody from back in the day, but it doesn't have to be deep, especially at this period in my life when I feel like I'm pulling away from people and people like trying to come in the natural part of that cycle. Like everybody's like resting, slowing down, and I don't really try to I'm really trying not to let me rephrase, because the holidays didn't used to be a source of stress for me. It's only become a source of stress once, like, because I'm not the type of person that I'll just cut off the entire family for a few people. Nah, I'ma just not deal with those few people. But ain't nobody gonna separate me from my family if that's not what I want to do. Because family is very important to me. Family is a foundational thing for me, for a lot of people. And what defines a family, let's keep it realistic for this conversation in the 3D. What defines a family, like legally and all of that, is going to be different than what people actually feel in their heart space. Okay? Because man-made languages can't encompass everything. Like all states of truth. Even though, try as we might. Y'all might be getting a lot of support from your family, or a lot of unexpected, like, offers of reconnection, usually a discernment. For some people, kind of glad they cycle back around. I was worried about them too. For others, it's gonna be a hell no. It's gonna, for others, it's gonna be a hell no. Because I just can't. And that's all right. That is all right. So I feel like we addressing ourselves more with grace. We're allowing it to be what it is, really. And not trying to paint no fantasy picture over it. And I feel like us as a collective, this is happening to like both the counterparts too. If we talking about the counterpart energies, because I've been feeling called to do a reading for you guys too. And I was rewatching some of my old readings, and Spirit be talking to me through me. If you are also a reader, you probably know what I'm talking about. Or just somebody who's intuitive, you know, an empath. My friend, the one that, you know, I was like sometimes like in a hard place, like Spirit cycles you back around so you could go grab a couple people, you know what I'm saying? So my one friend, she's funny, and she reminds me of my anger problems from back in the day. But like how she approaches me is uber like, you know, chill, because she knows I'm not afraid of her anger problems. I got my own anger problems. I'm not going to be afraid of your anger problems. Other people's anger problems don't intimidate me. But whether or not I choose to deal with it is a different story, because it depends on how you cope with your anger problems, how you treat people, how you show up in those moments of insecurity, and what you choose to do with friendships in those moments of insecurity. And y'all know what I mean. Them people that's moving out of, it was just 22. Yeah, partnerships is definitely a key for this message. And that's like just all the shifts, right? How you relate to everyone outside of self. Right? Let me read like this. And for me, hi puppies. And for me, I'm gonna be consistent. You know, and I'm gonna be loyal, and I'm gonna show up, you know, the same ways, unless it's been like brought into my awareness that you don't come from a great place. Like intentions, a great place of intentions. And what I mean by that is, if, you know, I'm not saying she's having a rough day, because that happens, right? People have snap moments. They have moments that they be like, my bad, like I really was just blah blah blah, mad about such and such, my fault, I took that out on you. I like that shit. I don't need people to show up perfectly. What I need is that accountability piece there before I address it. Like, can you address it inside of yourself? And I think that's the major thing. See, I guess it just depends on the dogs, though, because there's the two little dogs that's right over here, chilling, not even barking, not even pressed that I'm, because they know I'm just walking by. I ain't no threat. If I was in the yard, it would be a different story, right? And that's the key, too. Like, you got people that just show up aggressive, like those one sister dogs. Like, what you doing over here? Why are you here? you doing in my street? You know, the fence is not necessarily their boundary. They worried about everything that's going on in the environment too. And certain things, yes. But other things, it's not for you. So I feel like it's important in this season to realize when you're taking on too much weight. Like responsibility for shit that really don't belong to you, shit that's really not about you. Because you gotta let people heal their own shit, do their own work. This ain't school. AI chat cannot do your work for you. That next person cannot do your work for you. You know what I'm saying? Your friend can't do your homework for you. When it comes to this spiritual journey, it's you and God, and ain't no faking that. You can try to pretend around other people, but if they read energy like I read energy, they gonna know. They gonna know. There will be signs, and I'm not in the headspace where giving people grace means letting you get away with a bunch of fuck shit. That's not what giving people grace is. That is not becoming a doormat. So let's be clear about that. Giving people grace is giving them compassion, still showing up with kindness, but not to the point where it's draining you to support them or to be available to them. Because in my brain, once you show up and you let me know really that you never gave two fucks, my direct question is going to be like, so what's the point then? What's the point? And with those people that you don't know what the point is, there's your sign right there. The fact that you are even confused about what the point or the purpose is of them in your space, let you know something is off, something is wrong, because otherwise why would you be analyzing it? Unless you just got trust issues for everybody. And then this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, y'all need to look at yourself and realize you moving out of fear to the extreme. Like, you pushing everybody away. If you can't even have a good business relationship, if you can't even, show up with a certain level of self-value, you are just all the way moving from a complete deficit, and it's hindering you. It's hindering you in more than just romance, for sure. It can hinder you in your career. Because I don't know about you guys, but my anger problem was not always tactful. Tactful anger problems didn't even go in the same sentence. You know what I mean? Like, what? But listen, I'm not opposed to helping people who want to help themselves when they want to see something, and I know my value because I can feel it. It ain't so much what they say, it's what they do, it's how they show up, it's how they are, present with you. And in this season of my life, I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows when it's going to be over. I was reading that in the Don Miguel Ruiz Circle of Fire book. I think it's on page 32. And it's talking about how you never really know basically when your time is up. So it was framing in a way of like, is the beef that you have people really worth the energy and effort that you put forth to hold these grudges and to hold that hate in your heart and to allow them to then in turn destroy anything that you could build after them, because really what's happening is they owning your ass. They owning your quality of life without even being present. And that's that shit. Not in my world, not in my reality, not in my book. It's not happening with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to give people grace. It's okay to see people and meet them in this life where they are, but enforce those boundaries. I do that shit with love, even with my friends. I'ma still tell you the truth. I'ma still be authentic. I'ma still tell you the shit that you don't want to hear. And for those people who have experienced me, and then they have experienced me like fall off or fall away, if other things ain't going on that, you know, that were obvious from before whatever would happen, then you probably showed up in a way that I was like, and absolutely not. I don't have the time and energy for this. That's not my battle. And I'll reel it back, you know. It's hard to do that out here with the DV situations. But I get it. I get how people could just be like so immune to it. Because honestly, I'm tired. I refuse to have any more relationships in dysfunction. That is why I chose not to define any connections with a level of commitment. But I see us reevaluating that. So for the collective that is in separation, so if you are with your counterpart, with your soulmate, with your life partner, and y'all been in this for years, this reading may not be for you unless you want to apply it to, you know, a piece of the messages to your own internal growth. And then I get that. But the relationship aspect of it may not be, you know, something that you need to reflect on. But I ran, and at the same time was trying to see, right? Trying to follow up on Spirit's hints, you know, like Spirit knew I would do. So Spirit hinted like, yeah, when you say you ready for stuff, Spirit will hint and will send people directly to you to test it, to test your resolves, to test if you meant it, to test if you gonna show up that way. Can you hurry up? The hell? Did you love us? He was going across this street when we had to stop sign like 5-10 miles an hour, and they be flying on me like, are you lost? My guy, you Ubering somebody some food or DoorDash or something? I'm dead. But yeah, so Spirit will send you tests. And I was watching some other readers, and it was like, the devil is looking, not wanting this thing to come to light. Because 2 light body powerhouses is devastating for every life they touch. In depth and beyond, like just on the surface level. You've seen it too. That's why it's so crazy. Like all these real positive connections is always in the cut, in the privacy of just them. But also the ones that's in public seem to be really divinely protected. Like we talk about all this Illuminati stuff, all of the like negative aspects of Hollywood and human society. But like, do you see how God be showing up? Because I don't think that creator would be less powerful than an angel when creator made the angels and the gods and created, which is the whole point of being called creator, right? Created all the things, right? Because we had to stem from somewhere. And I feel like that's why we come with certain inalienable rights as beings, and why you're even here watching this reading, because you, as a part of the collective consciousness, have always been like, what is these people talking about? And you might have been the bad child or considered the black sheep by society standards, but in God's world, your rebellious ass has been aligned with spirit. And the only reason why you look like a rebel is because the universe's truths and man's truths have dissented to like opposite sides of the spectrum in certain cases. And the shit happens throughout history. And I bring it up to that higher level consciousness so you can understand why the devil would send like some random person. It's not just about you. It's like your love story. It's not just about you. It's going to affect the people that you love, the people that love you. It has the potential to impact everything greatly because your environment and you exchange energy, right? And sometimes with the environmental energy around me, it can get real heavy and it's hard to transmute it as fast as it comes back and cycles back around. And then it just be overwhelming. But it's important to remember at the same time, there's literally millions of other people standing right alongside you that feel the exact same way. The exact same way. And that right there, that's inalienable right. You can tap into that collective consciousness. You can feel it in the energy, in the way an environment shows up for itself. You can tell when it's being like revamped, it's being poured into again. The city's trying to save certain pieces of it. Right. So that devil energy, because I told y'all, I didn't used to believe in the devil, in like the concept of heaven and hell, but we definitely create our own bliss or our own misery for sure. Because what the seeds get planted in your mind, they take weight and they hold the map of your stuff. And if it's hard for you to imagine yourself outside of a place of struggle and lack and loyalty and love, then you pull that shit right to you. And it's a hard pill to swallow, you know what I'm saying? So my friend, she needed another person to be able to show her, like, yeah, girl, me too. I remember, but you can make it out. And there is creating a relationship with yourself that gets a lot healthier, because you can't control how other people show up, but you can control how you show up, and you can control their access to you by what you choosing to entertain or invest in. And I don't have time to try to help people locate their peace. It's a choice. It's a mental flip. It really is. And it can't just be for show. Because that's not legitimate peace. That's legitimate pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pretending to be enlightened. And what does that serve? Think it's going to get you access into somebody's, like, energy so you can take their light and all this other stuff? Listen, that's not how light works. That's not how light works. Especially if they're energetically aware and energetically a warrior, a light warrior in this world. You're gonna get all kinds of shit coming at you. A lot of that is for healing purposes. You're supposed to create people awareness. You're supposed to make people feel uncomfortable, not intentionally uncomfortable, because then that becomes malicious and then that becomes a manipulation. But if you're showing up in your authentic headspace and heart space, dang, I'm already home. But I got more, messages for you guys. So we're gonna try to get the last part of this out. But if you're showing up in a way that shows people who you are, you know when it's not being met with real shit. Because for energy readers, when somebody's energy is intentionally blurry, that should automatically pop up like a red flag. And I ain't talking about like, oh, they just mysterious or I don't know them yet. Nah, you know them, but it doesn't feel like you've ever really known them. Like, and you sit with yourself and you realize, like, damn, I only know pieces and parts of this. I only know pieces and parts of, what this person has been through on their journey and why they show up the way that they show up. Even though you've shared your journey. In that respect, there's a reason that they're hiding certain things. There's a reason why they feel like they can't speak on it. And it's because if and when they do, you can peep the deception. And for me, this is real simple. I don't have to have a lot of friends. I don't have to be liked by a lot of people. I don't even have to be a popular reader. That's not going to stop me from doing what God calls me to do when God calls me to do it. And that right there, I've been that way since I was young. Who them squirrels was close? Squirrel. Been that way since I was young. So pay attention to the warning signs, those alarm bells going off in your head, because I did hear them alarms, them car alarms. And just realize, like, when people show you where they at, it's okay to want to, show them some kindness and, help lighten their load. Because, right, a burden shared is a burden halved, right? So some people make things feel lighter. And those people are kind of the people that I know my energy was meant to such, and the exchange was meant to be, positive. But it does happen in the reverse where, this person just irritates you. It's not actually any other benefit other than to crawl under your skin. And on top of that, the connection being fuzzy or blurry, like you can't really read it, don't really know what's going on and why it shows up the way it shows up. Yeah, then at that point, it's just a wrap, right? I'm gonna see if one of these benches is dry. Yeah, it's dry. It's just cold. Okay. Whew. So I made it all the way back to the house, and I was like, I'm not really done talking with them. I need to stretch. But yeah, so pay attention to how people are showing up, how you feel about it. They don't have to understand the way you see things, the way you move, the way you are in the world. All they need to know is the boundary. And the boundary is going to be shown. That's not really something told. And I'm not really going to give nobody too much room, space to argue. Because I refuse to participate in arguments it's not no point in arguing. Like, I don't talk to brick walls. I just don't. Ain't no amount of me speaking gonna change your brain on that. So again, it's really a matter of like, what's the point? Oh, this is cool. Like getting a little art. I'm about to have a little art space. So yeah, you might be two faces up there, and you might be just really solidifying where you are. Oh, nice! They finished a little skate rink part. That's cool. They be doing this park around my house. And it's nice. I'm checking it out. But yes, pay attention to how people show up and pay attention to what you want to show up for. When you don't want to show up for people, when you don't want to expend the energy it's going to take to help, that's your sign that you're over giving to a situation. And I'm kind of talking to my type A people, really, because we exert that. I'll take care of it. I'll handle business. I'll handle whatever that is, right? We do that. And that stems from the fact that once upon a time, we couldn't depend on somebody to show up like that for us with consistency. And a lot of the times we was left to our own devices to hold the reins, not only for ourselves, but for other people too, whether that be siblings, cousins, younger kids, especially if you was an older kid. Or hell, if you was a younger kid and you was helping their siblings raise their kids, either way, it becomes like an effort of community. And when certain people can't stand up with you in the space of efforts to community, and then they start questioning your involvement, it's because they're questioning their own involvement. Or they've been trying to hide something that they don't want you to know about, and they're doing a really bad job with it. So I kind of like those people that just are very blunt, even if it comes out, lacking a little bit of tact. At least they still showing up in their authentic, head and heart. You good. I ain't trying to steal your little acorns. The squirrels is running. And that's the whole thing. When your light bothers somebody, that's not about you. That's about them. About where they still are. About what happened to their own spark. That's what I mean. Like sometimes you put around folks to trigger them, to irritate them, to annoy, to do that. It's because they have something that they were hiding from them, either themselves or from you. But most consistency is probably going to be from themselves. Unless they're doing it with specific intentions and they just move in a way of like to fuck people over before they get fucked over type deal. And then you're dealing with somebody in their very toxic feminine or masculine energy. Or very toxic combinations of both, right? And it comes out, okay. It comes out sort of like that. Like, ugh. It's over and over again, like Nelly and Tim McGraw song. These nuts need to get out of here. That toxic cycle that I'm not finna participate in. I'm not finna move like that. I'm not finna to allow that to have power over my experience, have power over where I'm gonna go in my life. So nothing externally toxic in my environment has ever held my parents down. That is what I would say that they did show me. They showed up like that for. So I don't have that quit. I may talk a lot of shit about the quit, but I'm not about to do it. And there's also a very key loyalty factor to me. I didn't invest in anything in a romantic relationship type of way. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't, celibate by any means for the entire 5 years, but huge chunks of that 5 year span for sure. But I did was okay, the dopamine effect. Yes, because people are sexual beings. We have needs. We're adults on this channel. This is not going to be a kid reading. So you should be 18 and up. And if you are not, hopefully you mature enough for this conversation. If any of this makes you uncomfortable, you're probably just not ready at this point to deal with that, because I still feel like you should get a firm grasp of who you are before you start delving deeper into tarot. So it's definitely, in my opinion, something that is for folks that are 18 and up already. You know, but I don't tend to read. I don't do readings for children. You know, it's not, to me, that's not what that is about. Like, you're still figuring out who you are. In this world, like as a person, as a being, as a force of nature in this world, right? And I don't think that, because there's too many already external factors that's going to play into that, I don't think adding any more with the cards is beneficial. I think that's just a little bit more confusing and harder to navigate, because I was somebody that picked up tarot at a very young age, at the age of 12, and I had no idea the type of shit that you could tap into. The type of energy that will respond in this world. And I wasn't mentally developed enough to even grasp the level. Like, I could hear what my mom was saying or translating to me from the books that I had read, but it wasn't computing into real life at 12, because my brain just did not have those pathways even mapped out. That shit wasn't even, no routes had even been developed between impulse and logic yet. None of that, because it matters when you're doing energy work and you're working with tarot. It matters the intention behind it. So there was consequences I faced at a younger age, and energies I encountered at a younger age, that I feel like them doorways might not have been there had it been a little bit more like either delayed or a guided type of practice. Which really didn't happen anyways, because I didn't really let too many people guide me, even my own parents. Like, I'm a very stubborn person. I've always kind of figured life out for myself and took what they said with a grain of salt. Like, okay, that was your experience, but this is my experience, and it's probably not gonna be like that, right? Talking about like preteen, teen mentality. And I feel like our adolescent self is just as important as our inner child, because some people get stuck having middle school ass relationships, stuck having high school ass relationships, where they're kind of mean to you and they like you because they're mad that they like you, and they don't want to like you, and because they don't feel ready to like you, and all this is separate. And it really shows when people show up. Then the birds is going ham. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but they're having a whole meeting. When people show up like that. Also, we was talking, me and my good friend that I met out here. She's become one of my best friends, actually. And the meeting just got quiet. They want to hear our meeting too. They having them little private meeting, but talking about like how she got like some powerful like ESP energy type stuff, because stray black cats is drawn to her, like, and I don't know why specifically black cat. She definitely has black cat energy, which is so funny, because looking at her, you wouldn't see her and be like definite black cat energy. You would see her and be like, oh yes, like twinkle fairies, you know, like mermaid vibes. I was thinking about like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it came out Twinkie. I might need some plate. I am walking on an empty stomach right now. I think I'm gonna go up to the next street. But yeah, and my point in bringing that up is she in turn responded and was like, and yeah, all the crows that be having, all the crows and ravens that be having a meeting on the top of your house. I was like, I was cracking up. I was like, you know what? I don't know what that is. I always thought like my mama was looking over my shoulder or something, because my mama got a fascination with crows and ravens and stuff. Like, and ever since I moved to my first house when I was 18, it was my first time living on my own, just me and my child. Ever since then, like when we had first got over there, no crows, no none of that. Cause I look around, I be peeping the sky and stuff. I be like, okay, are they already here, or like, is it me for real, right? Went through a couple moves like that, right? To where now I just know it's an eventually. Like eventually they're gonna come, and sometimes they don't show up until shit starts getting real heavy in a specific environment. And they've shown up more for me in transitionary periods of like my soul journey than anything else. So I feel like it's right. And birds is significant, a spiritual animal guide to me anyways. Like, I have an affinity with a hawk though, and I've seen lots of hawks out here, and it's crazy because this is like inner city. There's not really no wildlife besides squirrels or birds, littler birds that they might be snatching out of trees and stuff. But there's not really a food source around here for them, you know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting, like the energies that they congregate to, because I've always seen like sci-fi fantasy stuff as dope. So I know that a raven is a messenger in between like spiritual worlds and different realms, right? And they're also like, they're big gossips, right? Raven and crows, they be telling everybody everything, like they know about certain stuff, right? Like The Others by Ann Bishop, that series, oh my god, read that series, check it out. The Others by Ann Bishop. There's a whole bunch of different ones of them. So if you go to your local library website, you just type in Ann Bishop Other Series, and it will pop up. And if you like fantasy fiction, anything like that, like she is one of my favorite authors, and my mom gifted me her books as like a gift too during the time in my life where I was healing from a lot of stuff, but at the same time trying to escape, like not really feeling like it's a purpose for me, when your purpose has been like to show love and bring joy to the world, but people make it hard to show up in love and enjoy when they're showing up in something nasty towards you, disguised as though it could have the potential to be X, Y, or Z. And not everybody shows up like that, but it is very apparent when that's the way it's happening. And I made my walk just a little bit longer today because, like I said, the conversation did not feel over. Spirit was like, there's more. There's more we need to unpack, more we need to address. So you may or may not know who your spiritual guides are. And no one guide is better than the other. They all show up with different gifts, different attributes, different lessons for you to look into. So if you're not familiar with the meaning of certain animals, you can let the Google AI chat be your friend and ask Google about spiritual animal meanings and use your discernment. if a negative connotation or a negative definition actually rings true and strikes a chord, don't run from that. I mean, that's real. Just because it's not all positive doesn't mean that it's not all legit. I got to light this. Soul journey work is never all positive. It's never all positive. Because life is both light and shadow. It's like people. There's a indigenous who call it philosophy, right? Philosophy of the way people are set up. Everybody has a light wolf, a light body wolf, and a dark body wolf, right? Or pick a different spiritual animal if that doesn't resonate. I got different animals for my different sides. Like my lion, that's the light body energy. My dragon, that's my shadow energy. And that doesn't mean that the dragon is absent of light or that the lion is absent of dark. It just means I know what I'm tapping into, which guide I'm tapping into when I'm tapping into certain stuff. And I've built relation and rapport and trust with those aspects of self. So if there's pieces and parts of you that haven't been integrated yet, Spirit's going to pull external situations that make you pay attention to the things that they've been whispering at you. Because Spirit get frustrated too, just like we do, telling somebody the same shit over and over again. I told you this. So then they start yelling at you in all caps. And that's when you get those life explosion moments. And it just goes completely left, right? Completely left is not a bad thing, though. It feels not great while it's happening. So I'll give you that. It definitely doesn't feel fantastic. But it is for your highest good, your highest timeline. And Spirit is also trying to make you understand the shit you pray for is what already within your reach. All you got to do is get out of the habit of looking and not seeing it. Spirit's already answered your questions. You know? That person you confused about is a no. Doesn't matter why. Because when you wait to find out why, that's how shit gets worse. And how it feels so heavy that you can't even exit that shit gracefully. And I'm not doing that. That's why I'm usually very transparent about where people stand with me. And even if I don't speak on it, it shows up in my actions or my lack of engagement or the quality of the engagement. Because when the opportunity arrives and you feel like you have to translate yourself to other people. I don't know about y'all, but I know that I'm then in the presence of this is really not my tribe, but Spirit wants me to plant a seed, right? That's what I mean by you got to take certain connections, certain people with a grain of salt, and realize whatever fantasies you allowed to underwrite that experience was exactly that, a underwritten fantasy. And when those blinders come off, it's not like you're not deserving of trusting your own insights and your own truths. Is that was the experience you was meant to have. But even but understanding that other people, what they was seeing was also true, even though you couldn't see it yet, you know. And then it becomes like, damn, well, this person wasn't just trying to be a hater on whatever I had going on. They was actually trying to be an asset and to be an ally in that experience, you know, for your own highest good, or plant seeds that you wouldn't have otherwise came to on your own, because everybody needs a little help sometimes. And if you're an overgiver, this is your reminder from Spirit. It's okay to be tapped out. It's okay to give them back the reins after you help them and let them figure it out for themselves. That's a part of it. Okay? That's a part of what Spirit has to do for you every day. They guide you. But if you don't ask for help, they just gotta let you do that shit, even though it's hard to watch. It's hard to allow people to have experiences that you know aren't gonna end great, because everybody outside of yourself can see when it's not gonna be in the best interest of everybody involved. So, and that's okay. It's all right. Huh? I couldn't tell if that's a stink bug or a spider. Yeah, pay attention to the animal messages and the signs that you're getting around you. And hold on while I open my door. I'm tired and hot. I'm gonna take this coat off and redo my head wrap. That's my. You can give yourself permission to be tired, permission to rest, permission to only give half energy during these times where we really supposed to be like hibernating with the animals. I mean, just because we forged our winning does not mean we was giving that stuff our all. We have reserves and plans in place to act as fail-safes and in preparation for it, right? So I want you guys, so when I say give grace, know that should go to self first. And also, if you are new here and the forward-facing messages is not your thing, I do have a lot of other readings that are with the cards. If you like to see the cards and like to have you know, that external validation because you have, you know, trust issues from, you know, actual human people, right? Yeah, this bun fell down. Oh, I do this so I can actually correct things and stretch out. Um, but yeah, so this experience that you're experiencing today, um, or whenever you're finding this reading, it may be designed to test you or bless you, but you have to be open to that third strand in your connections to spirit having a say, because spirit isn't going to intervene if it's not something that you want spirit to do. My friend was like, "Is that a curtain or a sheet or a pillowcase?" I was like, "Girl, this is a headscarf. Stop playing with me." And then one of my we'll call that community member, since we live, have a residence in the same vicinity, we'll call that a community member. Um, he was coming at me in a more like ego space, asking me if my scarves meant that I'm Muslim, like, and even if I was, what does that mean to you? What is it to you? I'm sorry, guys. I got OCD and I'm a germaphobe. I gotta wash these hands. Even though I was outside and just touching on my own stuff, I still have that kind of filter thing happening. So Spirit is asking for your permission to show up in your life, in your healing journey, in the ways that, you know, going to feel like a miracle in your life. And if there is some fear in stepping into that unknown territory, I've been looking at it and framing it like this. I'm more terrified of staying in what I know as far as romantic relationships, romantic connections, community connections. I'm more terrified of staying in what I know than I am to move into a space with something that may be brand new. It may look different. And where I even saw myself possibly going. Like I was saying, I originally had the intention with that girl like five years ago, seeing that reading where it was like, yeah, those people that you knew 5 years ago, they're gonna be strangers. And I couldn't place her. We couldn't place each other for a whole 30 minutes. And that lets you know, like, I mean, she was in the community, so we was essentially strangers anyways. We knew each other from, like, going to similar events at the community center. So it wasn't like somebody that was that tight, but it was somebody that I knew of around the way, had conversations with, but really didn't know, like, what she was going through because I was so focused on my own stuff. That now that I'm here and I'm back in my own energy field and headspace, and I'm in a completely different place in my life. So the person that I was working at that community center is not the person that I am today. Ooh, and I hope my headphone that just fell didn't do nothing to the volume, because when I'm recording and we touch the headphones. Trying to put this on back in my ear real careful. And I just cleaned my bed and everything. I'm trying to get all this dirty stuff off my bed. So yeah, you might be cleaning up your energy, cleaning out old cycles, understanding like what was a part of your old self way back when, and letting those things fall off. Spirit is wanting you to know that you can request assistance from spirit to just make sure that those things truly, truly are on the out and not something that you're allowing, entertaining, out of fear because you don't feel like you've ever experienced X, Y, and Z. That is the point. The point is to get out of the familiar. The point is to get out of, and not a dark, unfamiliar. No. That's the wrong direction. That's the down frequency. No. Stepping into the unknown in a higher frequency. Because for those of us that have already experienced that dark night of the soul, that crushing reality, when confronted with things that are going on in the world around us, we've already experienced the spiral down effect. A lot of us, as my fellow light workers, like I said, I don't know any light workers that have never been through a dark night of the soul, or had a childhood that completely overcompensated for that dark night of the soul experience. If it wasn't yours personally, then it might have been your parents. And that, you took their trauma as if it was your own trauma and processed it and was like, nope, that's not going to be my story, and did just everything the complete opposite. And I get it. Sometimes even just doing things in the complete opposite, you're still being like them. You just aspects of them that you didn't see before or didn't know that was even there, Spirit wants to help you cope with this, help you make this experience feel lighter, help you understand that even though it didn't work out, it was still things that you needed to learn about yourself, boundaries that you needed to establish for yourself and for others that you won't rescind, because you have to have an uncomfortable conversation, or you have to have confrontation. I get it. I don't really care to let people disturb my peace, to invest in conversations that just feel draining. I'm not gonna talk for the sake of talking, and I don't have anything to prove to anybody who's trying to prove something to me. I mean, it is what it is. I watch what people do more than what they say. I mean, both are relevant to the experience, but how somebody shows up and makes you feel will tell you exactly why it is what it is with that person. It's okay to invest in yourself and make sure your stuff is taken care of, because that's the entire point of like overgiving. And spirit doesn't want you drained, doesn't want you overgiving, doesn't want your light to be depleted because you're trying to help heal so and so. So and so got to heal themselves. So and so got to do their own work. Remember what I said? Ain't nobody else, can nobody else do this type of homework? This is your work. And there's no cheat sheet, there's no shortcuts, there's no Cliff Notes version. Okay? You're going to have to rewrite the entire internal essay of beliefs surrounding love and relationships in order to even get into the I'm ready mindset. Yes, I'm still growing. Yes, I'm still healing. But no, I don't want this casual, surface level, never satisfying experience. Because it always feels like something is missing, and it's not fair to me, and it's not fair to them. So I've always sort of maintained in the 5 years since I've known of my own counterpart that if it ain't her, it's gonna be me with me. And the conversation that I did have with her, where I told her that up front and like to her face, it was virtually, but as much to your face as we could get, right? Over the distance. It was said in a way that with an understanding that, like a deep understanding of like that vulnerability and that transparency. And it's hard, like when you see that level of being seen from a complete stranger at the same time that is terrifying, it's also like you can't help but to be like, damn, that light is really not a part of any other connection. There's just nothing like it. There's nothing that reads quite like that to my own like energy receptors. And it's done like that by God on purpose, because at some point there becomes, it's a knowing. You know, they know. And when the final moment of recognition actually happened, there's no telling. But I did tell her this, that I wanted to be alone. But that was in, that was a couple of years in. Mind you, her situation hadn't changed, right? She was still taken, right? There was still a third party that was not spirit. It wasn't source. We weren't inviting source into the connection at that point. Outside of the conversation that I had with God, that I was like, I don't think you built me for love. So I think you left that part out, and I'm gonna go ahead and just be by myself. Spirit was like, oh no, here's your verse, and you talking to me about this? Baby, let me show you something. And show me it. Spirit did on repeat that crackhead cycle of like repeat. And I say that because people be acting like spirit or our guides aren't persistent. I'm sorry, the weather is changing. My lips is peeling. Excuse me. But yeah, spirit is going to, or the guides are going to be persistent, especially if you constantly are questioning them. They're going to get real loud. Like I said, that's honestly why I feel like sometimes it's our ancestors that's being the guide, like spirits, guardians, and the ancestors, because my ancestors got jokes. My ancestors got jokes. They'd be like, girl, little girl, are you listening? You ain't listening. So, listen. Mm-hmm. Listening is an art. Receiving what spirit is showing you
is an art. And when you're stubborn, and if you are stubborn, you that's something that we're gonna have to work on. Not trying to impose what we want on what spirit is trying to do. Again, because these divine counterpart connections, they're so much bigger than just you and that person's individual journey. Of course, that is at the core of it. But the whole purpose of why spirit designed you two together, and the fact that, there is a, like, we'll call it devil for lack of a better, mutual word of understanding, type of energy that does interfere. Because I was like, well, what would they benefit, by interfering? Like, what are they really winning? They're winning, like, a light worker choosing to be in their more shadow side and spreading that around, instead of that light worker experiencing the dark and transmuting that and then spreading that around. So it's the quality of energy that's trying, and I don't even know if it's trying to dominate, but it should be trying to coexist. Because in this world, polarities is exactly that. Mother Nature is beautiful. She's gorgeous. We need her to survive. The water, the clean air, the grass, the plants, the flowers, all the ecosystems, all of the various different ecosystems in the world. That balance is key, but she can also flip it, and there's moments of natural disasters. That for her is natural to have, you know, hurricanes and, typhoons and earthquakes and, other things going on, that we've developed so much of her landscape. Now we take it as like a personal attack when her natural, you know, earth body is going through its natural cycles, and it's doing what it needs to do to try to keep itself alive. Because the earth is a very self sustaining place without us interfering with its cycles, with all of our man made things. It's a fact of life. You can stand on wherever you want to stand on it, from a financial aspect or a political aspect or whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, if we don't have any fresh water sources, we don't have any green trees or plants, and we are running out of diverse animals on this planet, Mother Nature's not going to be okay. And neither are we. All right. And I don't give a damn how much money you got. We are not built to live in outer space or in some random, I don't know, other side of the Truman Show that people believe is out in Antarctica or Arctica or wherever that's at. Mm-mm. Like, the 11th hour is critical, because there's a point past healing that she's not going to be able to recuperate from. And who the hell do you think is going to experience those consequences one way or another? Your money is not going to protect you. It's just not. It's not going to. It's not worth it. If that's why you're doing it, to increase your bottom dollar, money wasn't designed for motherfuckers to hoard the shit. It was designed to make our weight lighter when we going back and forth and around and about to barter. It was never originally designed to be this thing that motivates you your entire human experience. Because I'll tell you right now, the relationship that you have with money, it does matter. If that's your end all be all, you're going to be a very miserable person. If you're going to see it for what it is, a tool in this world, a tool that also grants access to certain levels of freedom, now that we can do. But I feel like there's it's a shift right now that's happening from a way that you've been taught about the world into allowing spirit to gift you from, the Akashic records, and from, the true Mother Earth recordings of man. Because when humans are recording their own, they be leaving stuff out and editing things, try to make themselves look better or whatever, or more intimidating or whatever. We're not doing that. Nah, allow spirit to show you what you need to see in these situations in life, in rewriting yourself and reinventing yourself. Because tapping into that automatically is an energy message to the universe telling spirit that you're ready. Oh, are we on? And spirit is loving it. I'm trying to say, spirit is loving it. Okay. Those of us that are listening, those of us that are present with the world, those of us that are looking at Mother Nature and these animals with compassion and just love. We know what side you're on. That's the light worker side. And understand when and if an opportunity presents itself for you to battle with a darker energy, tap into that spiritual army. Because I've been telling spirit, I'm like, look, spirit, I'm not doing these fights with these demons by myself no more. I'm going to need you and Archangel Michael and all them to come run this shit up. Because I'm tired. In my man-made ass body, I am tired. Okay? Okay. Man. Yeah, you don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to continue to live that same story over and over and over and over and over again. And you won't when you are rewriting your own beliefs. Like what I had told her, and I had set out to do casual, to keep it surface level, to prevent myself from feeling hurt, right? Because when I took it upon myself to go check her out for myself, right? Because I'm that type of person. I'm like, let me go see spirit. Let's see what you talking about. And spirit like, all right, okay. In that moment, I realized it might have not been the greatest time. And then, like I said, she went from one relationship to another relationship. And in my mind back then, it was real possessive. Like, what you mean, Spirit? This is my person. So this is my person. Why is she not choosing me then? And she just went from one, like, point A to point B as though we never even met. She don't see it. Like, and I'm like, damn, does she not see it? So it's hard to have faith in what spirit is showing and why spirit is doing it in the way that it's unfolding. Um, but now, 5 years later, I can understand like there would have been no way for her to understand what my headspace was if she'd never been in a super toxic relationship. It just wouldn't have happened. She would never been able to understand the battle. Because in her mind, like, people wouldn't have showed up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't know what you don't know, you know? If she hadn't been through a real toxic relationship, or if she was usually the one that was a toxic person in the relationship, it's different when you're the one showing up in your light energy and you're the one pouring into it and you're the one moving out of love instead of fear, and another person is showing up with that demon energy in them. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, the light is absent from their eyeballs. They just look completely checked out, and something completely is bigger than their shadow, much more than their shadow, is in there, animating them. Like, they in there too somewhere, but so is something else. I ain't gonna call that possession, but they cohabitate in that one skin suit, and you don't know who's in the driver's seat from one moment to the next, except for you can see the shift in their eyeballs, and that's real. And I don't like people that make me question whether you showing up in a light space or a dark space intentionally moving towards me, because I did too much work. Mm-mm. I wasn't gonna tolerate none of that. And I did tell her in that moment, absolutely not. I think I'm done with love. Like, I took her move from one, partner A to partner B, and I was like, oh, you do not see me then. And if you do see me and you chose anyway, then that's just an automatic rejection. All right. So what did I do? I told her I don't choose relationships. Like, that's what I told her. I don't choose a relationship. I choose a relationship with myself. That way it's gonna be between me, myself, and I. And if I hurt me, then I can help heal me type deal. Cause at that point it was like, damn, like, even my own self in my mind, extension of self, because we're the same soul, but we're different 3D people for sure. Um, so she has her own. She's her own person, and that was also like my piece of that lesson. Um, because we didn't have any type of agreement on anything. The connection was definitely there. The chemistry, the blew everything else out of the water. And I'm like, she can't not see that, right? There's no fucking way. Um, but the power that we have to tell ourselves some shit, or to create a world, as far as me and my counterpart, is real high. So I know why these demons or these shadow energies is trying so goddamn hard to prevent it from coming into being in the 3D. They've sent distractions, interruptions, it's even to this reading. Like, I got remixed a couple of different times before I did this reading. That's probably why it's so long. Spirit, like, we gonna get this shit out today, boy. And I'm talking about doing another reading. This one might take forever to upload. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to store anything else on my phone while I'm trying to upload this. But yeah, and I don't know what she needed to get from her side because we're in a no contact. And it's not like somebody's blocked or I'm blocked or no, like it was just there was some finality of like, because a couple years ago you would try to talk to me about a twin, and I'm like, I ain't talking about that, because it just felt like, as another disappointment, another betrayal, another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust. Kinda. That's kind of how I felt. But like to be on that caliber, it was kind of just like, well, Spirit, I guess I hope you have a higher level soulmate, somebody that you can connect me to that is going to show up in love, that is going to walk through this journey with me, that isn't going to go from point A to point B. But really what happened is she did the same thing I did in that moment. She looked at me and was like, shit, I'm not ready for this. Let me go practice real quick with whoever, right? But it takes time to get there. It takes time to get to that level of like, bam, the light bulb moment clicked on. You know what I mean? Like that light bulb moment clicked in there, and now I know. She was doing the same thing as me, because being aware of how you should show up is different than being able to show up in the energy that you're claiming, and in the energy that you say that you embody and that you represent, right? Not to say that she's not living authentically, but there's visioning yourself, which just helps create yourself in a new space and in a new way. But it takes time to get there. It takes a lot of remapping, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of analysis on, oh yeah, that's me or that's not me, right? Once I realized she responded in the physical world to something I was going through energetically, and we did that with each other without legitimately communicating it back and forth. And it took me a minute, because like I said, ESP has always been a part of my life, and it probably took her a minute too, because I can see it. It's definitely been a part of her life too. That's why she can show up and be who she is, and other people can kind of be a little bit intimidated or a little bit whatever, and she might have thought that was the case with me, but it wasn't. It was in protection. So yes, initially in 2020, when we finally realized, oh shit, I do have a person, oh shit, I know who that person is, you realize, when you really sit with yourself after like the whole hype of like meeting, and oh my god, I can't believe they're legit and this was real and I'm not crazy, and holy shit, I don't know how to do that. And I'm gonna keep bringing it up because it needs to be said. Like, the not knowing how to do it for a light worker that has experienced a lot of like environmental trauma, childhood trauma, just generational curse type of trauma, from being in the human world in modern day society, so called civilized. This shit cutthroat than a motherfucker. Real cutthroat. It is hard to show up and embody love with all of the conditioning that goes into hardening you from the time you are a child. And it is a hardening. They are literally like beating the innocence out of you with information, sensory overload, to the point where your compassion dials down. And I've noticed it in myself, and it's kind of scary that like sirens can be going on, and like, or gunshots can happen, like, and I don't even flinch. There's no duck and run for cover. It's just like, well, it's gonna be what it is today, if that's what it is today. What? What is that? I don't think anywhere in the world, anywhere else in the world, outside of the United States has built motherfuckers just like that. They are not, they're ripping out your compassion. They ripping out your empathy. They ripping out your ability to feel what another person is going through, or even your need or want to connect with other people. And they doing all of that because we're not falling for the lie no more. In masses. In masses. We see this shit. We see the truth. There's been more change in my lifetime and I already have an adult child in this society. Yep, that's who I'm here for. To protect. Cause listen. I'm not trying to leave her in no world where it feels like we just rewound. This is supposed to be the land of the free. It's not the land of the free, clause, only if you represent this portion of the human race. We are all one race. It is ridiculous, the stratification that has went into creating American society, just modern global society in a general sense. The stratification is crazy. And my insight on it, they've been trying to silence me for years. And I was definitely discouraged. I've done a lot of community work. And when the powers that be try to shut you down and shut you off and really try to tell you how much power you don't have, That's really when you need to start paying attention, because you're making them nervous. Without even trying. I was just speaking facts. I was speaking facts in my thesis. They did not like what I had to say. And it's not anti-American. It is the truth. Because I'm a mutt, right? I'm a mutt. And I've been saying that since before dude was talking about that song. But there's times when I want to climb out of my skin in this life because of the injustice in this world. The facts that, things are changing, and all these people, they're like, oh, well, the people with money, they're not in charge, and la la la. Like, nobody wants to take responsibility for this shit. No, fuck all that. You calling yourself a leader in this world, then you gonna own where we at, where you leading us. And it's the people's job to hold you responsible. How we show up and do that? I'm gonna pray some women really rise up on this one, because we need some feminine energy in this fucking patriarchy. We really do. We need some matriarchy in American modern society, because these men, the foresight is not foresighting for this environment, for their home. The moral compass has completely just, I don't even know where it's at anymore. But this anti-diversity, this anti-whatever, like, if you want to go be in an island by your rich ass self, then I suggest you fucking do that, and you leave the rest of us alone. And you take your leadership and you veto yourself, because no. I'm taking my home and running that into the ground. You need to take your orange ass to Europe and stay there and sit there and go to timeout. And this might piss a lot of people on the internet off. I do not give a shit. And if he got something to say to me, he could say it to my face. And I'll say the shit that I have to say to his face, because somebody need to say that shit. I don't care about your title, bro. Your title, your paper, your everything. You are still not invincible. You are still not God. You are still not the creator. You are still not the writer of the direction of humanity. You're not. No. You're not. And I damn sure don't want you writing no future for my child. Hell no. That's honestly why I've been battling depression. This shit is too like, this shit is, how the hell did the Simpsons predict that he was even gonna be the president in the beginning if y'all didn't exchange no paper to even make this shit possible? I really want to see this electoral vote formula. It's supposed to be public, so put it in the public. How did he even win this election? Because I'm for damn sure. If that shit is a popularity vote, have all of y'all lost y'all's marbles? Or y'all just picked him because he got a big bank account? He is a moron. A moron. A white supremacist, educated, like, he might as well be a glorified KKK member at this point. And people want to argue with me. Oh, well, America's not racist and blah, blah. Have you been living under a fucking rock for the last 500 years? You and your family? Did you not have eyeballs? Did you not watch anything in history class? Did you not fucking pay attention? Are you not paying attention right now? This is why the devil be lurking, cause honey. But spirit, God, is stronger. The good in this world is stronger and meaner. I'ma tell you what. We gonna stop acting like good can't be mean and good can't be powerful. Especially when you combine it inside of a human being that is capable of shades of gray. All right. You leading this country into an apocalypse. This entire global apocalypse. Have you all lost your fucking mind? Oh my God, where I feel like we're having a dick measuring contest between America and fucking Russia. Those nuclear weapons are bigger. Both of y'all are dumbasses. Sit down. Shut up. The fuck do you think that you and your bomb shelter just gonna be what? What are you gonna eat? How are you gonna live? You're gonna blow up some shit that has the potential to ruin the entire but the entire ecosystem on this planet. And you think a piece of metal box, a man-made bomb shelter piece of metal box, was gonna save your ass because you got money. Retarded. Fucking retarded. Let's play Russian roulette with the entire world. All this power, and your vision is trash. Your vision is trash, dude. Trash. I don't care if I lose subscribers. It is what it is. Spirit ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not about to sugarcoat it. For what? What is your beef with diversity and inclusion except for it goes against everything that you want to run this country again? Cause I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I do not want to sit at a table with only white people. No, thank you. No fucking thank you. Y'all are insane. Literal. Like, I feel like y'all make up the mass majority of fucking sociopaths in the historical world. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Thank God my shit diluted. Jesus. Yeah. And the level to which society will be held accountable for itself will look a whole hell of a lot different when the counterparts start getting together. And we talking about these powerhouses together. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from connecting with mine. No external circumstances. None of that is irrelevant. The part of her story, a part of my story, a part of what I needed to see or gain that she couldn't bring to the table, or that I wasn't ready for her to even bring to the table. That part has changed. That part has changed. But the impact that connection to light workers get together, do you know how much unpacking of trauma that would happen? How much unraveling of the conditioning and lies that we have existed in? How much that would be lifted, not just from us, but from everybody that sees the connection, feels that connection, witnesses that connection. The light scared us so much. Oh my God. And hit cut for like 5 years. Now, originally, that wasn't the goal. 5 years was the goal. It's just that amount of time happened for one reason or another, because we believed the lie, or we questioned why certain shit was blurry, or questioned our own truths because of how the 3D was showing up. The energy transmutations that's taking place inside of you are so key in this collective. And if you rocking with me with this 2-hour reading, and hell yeah, I'm gonna post it. Long-winded as ever, I don't care. When I do post, it's not super frequent, so I'll be trying to give y'all all the gems that I can when I am posting. So if you need to pause this, take a break, listen to it while you sleep and cleaning your house. I like listening to readings while I'm cleaning my house. If I'm not listening to music, I'm usually listening to readings. It literally is. So the whole purpose of the channel name, Sacred Tarot P. Listen, I've had different kinds of therapy. My therapy work with spirit, and I always know when there's a dark energy around, because my energy work and my soul work with spirit will fall away, because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to look at it. So we can do that as light workers, as manifestors. If you don't want to see something, it's going to be hard for you to see it. That's why I always tell spirit, like, I would rather you show me the truth. Like, I don't care what this dude or this person look like. Yeah, I need the honest. You know, I need the veil removed. I want the blinders off. I don't want no rose-colored glasses. And the interesting thing about that is my twin, or my counterpart, my divine counterpart, there was never a rose-colored glass involved. That the possibility of a rose-colored glass couldn't be there. That's why it was so scary, because it's like, I don't know how to relate to nobody when it's like you could see all of them. And yeah, the love is there, but so is the level, there's a transparency level that is just there, and you don't have to have words for it. And spirit wants you to know that there are forces, in this world I try to block. And a lot of that comes externally or internally. A lot of that can come and stem from internally. If you are internally like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. So it's going to be like, okay. You and your person, okay. Y'all gonna take that time, that separation, that time to like really truly like see what's up. What is it? You know? I also had to take some space and realize that it wasn't a betrayal. I had to reframe that too. So her going from point A, person A, to person B, even with meeting me in the middle, it's still, it wasn't a betrayal because it was not her rejecting me. It was her rejecting herself. Like, ooh, I can't sign up for that yet. So be careful with this eventually. Eventually. It's time to do the important shit now. We do not have forever. And spirit is only waiting for you to pick up your faith and share the wheel a little bit. Because you can help it out, but you can also like take it over and cut out spirit's involvement, especially when we've tended to blame our less than positive experiences on spirit. 9 times out of 10, our less than positive experiences is brought on because we have the power of choice. People don't be listening, okay? Been conditioned to not listen and to fear what is unknown, to fear happy. All right. I don't know what they got going on and how they conditioning people in, places, other places, but I have a feeling that it can be very similar. Because, I don't watch the news, but I see people sharing things on social media. The world needs light workers to come together. And in this day and age where everything is so nosy and there's so much AI, it don't take but 2 seconds for somebody else to try to distract you from a specific task that you have planned and your soul work. You can't let those distractions actually deter you. So I see you putting your foot down in this season of your life, in this season of your space, and re-centering yourself, just as I've been doing. My center is still showing up with love, but also like, even though I'm choosing love and I'm still choose to remain loyal to the fact that that is my person. I believe spirit. I know what spirit is saying. So even if she's not doing what is her truth from the 5D and the 3D, that's her choice. Because counterpart does not mean that as an extension of yourself for real in the 3D. Like, who? Now the energy is crazy. The personality can be similar. The similarities is similar in it, right? But there's big differences. There's still differences, just like everything else in the 3D. Hell, even identical twins is gonna give you differences, right? So it doesn't change the fact that that's a separate entity. So even though it's half of your soul, they signed up for a full experience in this human world that's separate from yours. The beautiful thing about it is she's been there this whole time. I'm talking about become aware of it in my actual like ego space, become aware of it. The fact that like the A connection has been super strong, A connection has been calling to me. I've always felt drawn and heard like a presence, you know, somewhat just as mischievous as I am too, right? She's always been there. So I had to unlearn my trauma response to her even coming into my awareness too, like and unravel that, right? Unbox that entire experience and really look at my piece. And the way that you move with your counterpart, it can be similar for like high level soulmates because not everybody has a twin. So if you don't have a twin and you know, find somebody or you're connecting with somebody that does have a twin or a divine masculine, divine feminine being light worker in their, you know, their upright empress energy, their upright emperor energy, those people have dealt with a lot of shadows, okay? It is not the absence of the upright, it is the mastery. It's the mastery of the reverse position that even embodies them to be in the upright position. And it's a self mastery. They're not mastering for you, it's a self mastery, okay? Self journey. So, yes, people can impact your journey. They can plant seeds along the way. And your counterpart is doing that regardless if things are coming into fruition in the 3D or not. But I feel like for this part of my collective that I'm talking to, my turtle energies, I feel like my turtle energies, like the slow moving Knight of Pentacles energy, right? Preparation and prepping and all of this stuff. I feel like we just had an epiphany moment and we realized there's no such thing as ready. Because if we would have waited till we was ready, we would have never done nothing. People perform better under pressure, right? So when you're applying pressure, to yourself, I just realized like I don't want casual. I don't want temporary. And I also don't want to be alone in life. I have been alone in unhealthy connections and unhealthy relationships, that entire experience. So why would I waste my time entertaining more casual relationships? Entertaining more. I'm not going to do it, right? I don't want that. I am single and I've broken this down to people and naysayers and all of that. I've been single. Originally, yes, it was because I thought, I'm not ready for love, but it has become, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. And even when I originally told it, you know, to my counterpart, like I don't think I'm going to choose relationships. I'm not accepting this third party shit that where we find ourselves, and I'm not accepting this. I'm not about to do this with you in this energy and start it like that, because nah, like that's not like the third party energy. The only third party I want in my counterpart relationship is me, her, and spirit. Me, her, and spirit. And I say her because she is a her. Yeah, I know who she is. And it's been a couple years now that I was like, I'm cutting things off, the casual things off with intention. That I'm going to be preparing myself for that level of commitment. So now the intention is not to be alone and end up in that alone space. The intention now has become union, to be in union. And I know I keep going big and like smaller with like the counterpart relationships, but we need leaders that help us, especially in a melting pot society, that create unity, not more dissension. We don't need any more dissension. Okay, we're all dissented and different enough, and can't even have the average person in this environment can't even have a healthy romantic relationship because all the trauma you guys have thrown around, all the wars, all the you look like this so you don't get blah 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 blah. Trash. It's trash. It's lies. Lies. You want to propagate more lies into the future for our children with all this AI stuff and all these videos because they can't read cursive and actually know the truth. And AI's probably been doing their homework and everything. Like, because you think that they gullible and shit, you want to leave them with this? I'm going to tell y'all something. If you were born after the 2000s, you need to figure out how to read cursive. Okay? You need to figure out how to make clothes. You need to figure out how to survive off of the land again. Okay? You need survival skills. Because if they keep going uninterrupted, we're not going to be watching movies about the apocalypse. We're going to be living in one. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. I'm not trying to play the 100. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And I feel like that's where the hell he trying to take us. I'm not trying to play the 100. I'm not trying to play no Hunger Games. These great movies. We're going to leave them exactly in fantasy fucking land. I wonder why there's been so much dissension with environmentalist groups and indigenous culture and this white supremacy bullshit, and the fact that y'all are deporting brown people who, by the way, their ancestors been on this fucking side of the globe longer than your white ass, okay? And they're not even trying to displace all of y'all. They're not even trying to just be like, oh, okay, all white people get the hell out. Nah. Still, after 500 years of actively y'all genociding, they still trying to give y'all some fucking grace. I'm done with the grace. Fucking somebody need to slap the shit out of Trump. The shit out of him. Slap the shit out of his ass. Come here, I'll do it. And don't be no hoe either. I'm talking about assault. Your every fucking legal shit you do out your mouth is an assault on a specific other type of person. So at this point, it's an eye for an eye. I owe you about a whole bunch of slaps for a whole bunch of different people that you done fucked over. Fucking stupid ass. Just Dumb as shit. How you got all this money, you know, all this crap about history, and you're just retarded?
Oh, you know what I think is good? Oh, yeah, Germany when Hitler was running it. Let's run that back.
No, how about you do that shit on your own little private island and you and all your little rich friends can go play Hunger Games by y'all goddamn selves, okay? Ew. Leave the rest of us out of it. No, thank you. Dumbasses. Stupid asses. What you gonna eat when the world is nuked? Ain't gonna be no more people for you to even eat. So you can't even take it all the way to the dark side. It's time. We can, you gonna let it be what it is, but also address it when it needs to be addressed. Set those firm boundaries and let people know where you stand. Because I'm not finna be hiding or quiet or no. This shit is getting way out of hand. Like I said. And somebody need to slap him and everybody else that he put in charge. People be like, oh, well, Trump didn't decide that. Are you kidding? You better rewatch how long Trump been talking bullshit in public realms. That's an old ass dude right there. And he been like that for a long time. And I'm doing my civic duty. Somebody need to slap the shit out of his ass. For real. And don't punk out. Oh, he got money, bury you, put you in jail for 5 years, you assaulted the president of the United States. If you don't stop being a little bitch and take these hits, I can't believe somebody tried to shoot me. You mean you paid somebody to attempt to try to shoot you to get sympathy from people? Because how the fuck did they miss? That's crazy. That is crazy. And I ain't saying that you need to end up dead. What I'm saying is at this point, I don't see what benefits you bringing to America's future or how the fuck you're trying to make it better, because it doesn't look better to me. Not at all. Y'all want to always talk about, oh, well, let's bring up what Obama did. Who gives a fuck what Obama did? Obama is not in power right now. That's over. Talking about right now. Everybody always want to argue about some stupid shit. He's not taking any type of responsibility or accountability for any bullshit. And y'all have to let this grown-ass man get away with every fucking thing because of his money. And I feel like the entire world is about to pay for it. So I'm going to continue to pray that on some level, that man experiences some consequences that he needs to experience so that the rest of humanity can be on a higher timeline. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to go back to 1930 nothing. Absolutely not. That is not a good look for the world. And I definitely don't want to do 1930s on tech crack. Okay? No. I watch sci-fi fantasy movies for a reason. These rich motherfuckers is bored. They're bored as shit. Because why don't y'all try being poor and not touching y'all's money for a while and actually be a real human being. Somebody should do that. Somebody. Like, you can't be the president unless you have been broke as fuck. Okay. And then talk to me. Same thing. Same other thing too. Because we don't know their problems. Like, you should have to have experiential awareness. You know, like method acting. You should be method living. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna digress because I can get on this topic and just stay here. And I'm okay with the dissension. YouTube, right? You can't be monetized because of this. And I don't care about that. Everybody else be talking about this, man. And it's my civic duty to let you know you're doing a shitty ass job. And I don't even know if it's been a full year since he's been in office. I think it just got to the full year. No, that's January. Ugh. God, it's not even been a full year and he already fucked up everything. But yeah, I'm about to let you guys go. I'm wishing y'all love, light, and everything nice. It doesn't feel great standing up for yourself alone. But when you finally remember that spirit got your back, and I know how all the really truly great leaders, and the impactful people in this world, the people that showed up and stood up for what was right, and trying to bring us together. A man that is actively undoing all of that, it should not be going unchecked. I don't care who he is. I don't care how much money he's got. This is ridiculous. This is very ridiculous. So just like what we're dealing with on a global scale, let that shadow shit, that demon, that fucking nasty ass blocker type of energy that wants to take you back down into the trenches of hell where we have came from to do another lap around the block. Don't do that shit. Hell no. Let's go higher. We ain't going lower. No. Been there, done that, saw the movies. We good. It's a wrap on that game plan. Huh. Yeah. So stand up for yourself. It is what it is. All right. Spirit got your back. Your front. Your side. Middle. I'm gonna keep on saying what I'm saying. That man is not qualified to run this fucking country. He is a moron. And he just need to go back to being a rich boy that playing with his toys by himself in the corner and stay the fuck away from humanity. Period. Unless you go and donate your money. You donating your money? No? Then we have nothing else to talk about. Goodbye. Cool. You not helping nobody? You selfish? Okay, then go be by yourself. You, your family, and them, y'all going by yourself. Take your little money, go to the rich people island, and y'all mind y'all's rich people business. Fuck out of my face. Fuck out of all of our faces. Because we tired. Tired of dealing with y'all. Trump making y'all look retarded as hell. Like y'all ain't got no goddamn sense. Y'all just out here just, oh yeah, rich people train, oh. Dumb as fuck. Looking stupid. And the rest of y'all that don't feel like that, I don't hear y'all. Where y'all at? They ain't covering y'all either. It's a damn shame. That's what happens when you put people in power that got a bunch of monies that control the media. We'll see how long this shit stays online. Even though I'm not that popular. So probably for a long time, you'd be like, nah, let's let her say what she's saying. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna continue saying everything I'm saying. So y'all motherfuckers continue to listen. This is wild. Alright. Rock with your spiritual light warriors. Alright? Because we ain't no fucking joke either. Alright? So, love light and put your goddamn light worker armor on and let's run it. Just calling all light workers. Show ass up. We got shit to do. And it's critical. So tap in. And don't punk out. Because you can't let the spirit culture run the show no more. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Take care of yourselves. We gotta really look out for each other now, especially with what's going on. So I'm gonna pray over you guys. And I feel the love already. So I feel y'all praying over me. So take care of yourselves. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.